So welcome back cyberheads to CyberTab, and you must have seen in the title that we'll be hacking into the Windows operating system, and not only restricted to changing the password, because you must have seen a couple of videos already that tell you how to change the password without getting into the login screen or without uh, using any uh, or without using any security questions or without guessing the passwords, right? You can do it. That is easy. But what is the more scary part is that without changing the password, which means the user will not know that you have entered his or her workstation, right? You steal the information, or I should say, you steal the files or folders. Is it possible? Yes, it is possible, right? But before we move on, just a quick disclaimer: whatever we do or whatever will be shown in the video, it is for the educational purpose only, not to damage any organization or to steal any information from anyone, right? So moving on, what we will be required to do this is just a USB drive, which is a bootable Windows drive, right? I'll show you how to do it. It is a very easy step, and that's it, right? And the target system, like this is the target system. If I say I'm I'm a hacker, right? And this is the target system, which is CyberTab. So most of the laptops have their ports open. By saying the ports open, what I mean is that any of the USB or any of the removable device can be inserted into it, and it will read it, which means it will recognize it. So there are certain things: either you can block your port, either you can put restrictions based on several parameters, be it serial number, be it brand, or anything, right? Assuming that we these things are not there and the port is open, which is the 95% of the case. Even in some of the organization, it is the case, and in normal usage, the ports are generally open, right? So how we'll be doing it? We'll just quick through. So this is the link, right? You just need a quick minimum 8 GB of pen drive, and you will download this. This is a Windows 10 installation media, so you just download it. It is a 1820 MB file, right? When you will open it, I'll show you. So when you will open it, it will ask you to permissions. You give the permission. Okay, so it gave me the error because I've already started it in the background, so to save the time. So when you just double click it, you give it a yes, I want to proceed, and then a window like this appears. Make sure when you do this, right? Make sure when you do this, you have your USB drive, which you will be using, or which the hacker will be using in the victim system, is in its own system. First step is to make the USB bootable, right? So when the Windows Media Creation tool has been executed, it looks like something this, right? You agree to the license, and then it will land you on this page. So it has two options. One is upgrade this PC now, which we do not want to, and the second one is create installation media, right? So once you click this and you go next, your USB will pop up, right? Just click on your USB, be it any on like SanDisk or any of the brand name, whichever it is. Just make sure that it has minimum of 8 GB for smooth operations, right? So when your USB has been booted up and has become bootable, right? It will look like something this. Okay, it will look like something this. So it will look like something this. So it has already created a bootable image. So it has downloaded the Windows file, that is Windows operating system. So now what it will allow us, earlier in times, what we used to do is we used to use CD drives, right? Now you can install Windows through USB. So on a victim target, let's say the victim, in his house, there are 4 or 5 roommates, and out of one is a tech geek, right? And the victim goes out for buying some stuff or something, right? In the meantime, but also he locks his screen, that is pressing Windows and L, and he locks his screen and thinks that he is safe from the roommates to access his documents, right? But the tech guy who has the bootable bootable pen drive, just put the bootable pen drive into the laptop. Just this scenario is right now what we will be doing. The attacker has inserted the removable device or the bootable pen drive into the victim's operating system, and there is a login screen, right? Now, since he does not have the password, he will not be able to log in into the system. So this is the victim's system that I have created, right, on the virtual machine, but obviously it will be a physical machine in the real case scenarios. And just like in physical scenario, you will insert it manually. Here I will just connect it, right? So now I do not know the password, though the password is admin at 123, but I do not know the password obviously. So what I will do is, since the bootable media is already in, right, and in most cases, when the system is booting up, like when I press it here and press restart or shut down and start it again, and if the bootable media is inside, it will give you an option to boot the system from the removable device. That is, boot the system from the pen drive. Only and only if the pen drive is bootable, right? And we have already made our pen drive bootable, which is Windows 10 operating system, same as this, right? And for a case scenario, if it does not boot up, you can just maybe the friend has gone to buy some more stuff and you have some couple of more minutes, you can just get into the BIOS, like shut down the system, turn it on, press the escape key, go into the boot manager, and booting order is something there, and bring up the booting order so that the bootable or the removable device is at the top, right? Which in simple English means that when the system is booting, first it will look for the pen drive or the removable device, whether it has something to boot on. Then it will go on to the normal booting manager of Windows, and then so on and so forth, right? Okay, but in general scenarios, it takes it reads the pen drive, and if it is bootable, right, we'll just perform it. So making sure we have the bootable device in, it is Moser beer. So now what we'll do is restart the system, and it will pop us to press any key to boot it from any DVD or removable device. Here, I just pressed it. I'm not sure it came on the screen. So it was written press any key to boot from CD or DVD device. So now the very scary part comes into the picture. And now right now we're talking it in a friendly manner, right? That there are two friends who are trying to do some funny stuff. But now it gets dark here, right? Uh, in a couple of videos you have seen that you can change the password, right, by doing some utilman.exe, renaming it, and then changing it to command.exe, and then executing it in the login screen, and then giving the net username password, changing the password. But in real world scenario, it does not really is very efficient. Why? Because once you change the password, anybody, me or anybody, will get to know. But the main motive of the hacker is to first penetrate into the system without the individual or the organization to know, right? And then to stay into that system, be persistent, right? Because if you change the password, they will get to know and they will be alerted already. So if you want to steal something, if you want to develop a backdoor, here is the chance, here is the so a way which hackers do, and I will not suggest anyone to do it, right? It is just for the educational purpose. So now it has just booted up. If you just go next, it will install the Windows. But what we understand is in the behind, the CyberTab user Windows host operating system is there, right? But we have a screen which says you want to install a Windows or not. This all we have done has nothing to do with our business. We just want the access to the host operating system, which we will get through a command prompt. So the main chaos or the efforts that we are making is to get a command prompt access. So once you have reached here, press Shift plus F10. Go. So now you have the command prompt of the host operating system, making sure it is the command prompt of the host operating system, that is of user CyberTab, right? So now you are in the system of your friend's system, right? And for example, he has clicked your pictures and he is not giving you some pictures, and or any document he's not sharing, right? And you want to get it, right? So this is how you will get it, and you can do pretty much more out of it. So first we'll just try to discover what all directories are there by giving the command w make logical disk get name. So the command is w make logical disk get name. It will give you all the disks that are available. So the letters are shown which are assigned to particular disks, right? So we can just hop into. So in these kind of scenarios, we have to do some manual work, right? What kind of manual work is required? So we do not know in which of the directories the operation we want to perform, they have the privilege or they have the particular directory. So for example, if we want to get into the desktop directory, we do not know in which directory the desktop, in which drive the desktop directory resides. So we have to just uh, look into each one of them. So to get into the C drive, you can just type capital C and column enter. So right now you are in the C drive as it shows here. I'll just increase the font, right? Okay. And to list what is in the directory, you can just type there. It says volume in drive C is system reserved. So if it is system reserved, we do not have anything much to do, and we cannot even do, right? And is of none of our concern. So the next drive was D. If we type D, we are now in D drive. We just list the directories, and here we have something to be looked into. So the date, creation time, and all. The file type is here. So in D directory, D drive, these are the files and directories which are present, but we are looking for something different. So we'll go into the E directory and typing there. So this. Now here comes that we are in the directory, we are in the drive D, which has certain important folders or directories which runs different services, right? Now you have a lot of access from here only. But in terms of GUI or file transfer, data leakage, how are we going to tackle it and how are we going to do it? We'll see. So now what we'll do is CD, that is change directory, to users. Here, users, we have a folder. So folder and directories are the same thing, right? When we press now, we are in the folders, we can list it. Just like in Linux, to list, we type list, ls, and in Windows, we type dir because it is the to name the directory. So we have a user CyberTab, right? So we get into the user CyberTab, press enter, list directories, and we have these many directories and files present there, right? Now what we can do is get into the desktop. Why we are doing this is to achieve a certain thing so that we can perform a specific action, which is executing the notepad. So now when you are in desktop, you can just execute the notepad by typing notepad.exe, press enter, and now you are here. So till here you haven't given any password, you have not guessed any security question. You just booted a 8 GB of pen drive or inserted it in the laptop, and you are inside the uh, drive's hard disk of the computer system or the victim operating system. Now what we will do is we'll go into the file. Don't type anything in here, it's of no use. Save as. Okay, so it shows us all the directories that are available, including the, I'm sorry, I'm saying directory again and again in terms of in place of drive, like so. It shows all the drives that are available, including the pen drive that we inserted. So to double check, so this is the pen drive that we inserted, right? So first case scenario can be, so what for the save as type, make it all files. So all files, all file types are visible to you. One thing you can do is just get into their desktop or somewhere they put the files into, like for drive F, there is nothing much already. C is system reserved. This one is our own pen drive. E is of some use. You can go users, you can go CyberTab, and this is the desktop, right? Or you can go into desktop as well here, right? So it was just these files were I made them to test something, right? So you can get into the desktop, and you now find the files, which is confidential documents, be it of your friend or in any organizations, right? I just named it. It can be of any severity, confidential, secret, any video files, anything, right? you can double tap it, open it and see it. But what about if it is a Word file? What about if it is a PDF? What about it is something other than that, right? Any other file type? Can you copy it? Yes, you can copy it. That is the beauty, or I should say, lapse of this whole scenario. You just copied it from there, you get into your pen drive, and then you just paste it here, right? So it does not pops up right now. It takes time to refresh. Just go back and just come back again, and here it is, dummy confidential document, right? One thing is this: so you have transferred the data from the your friend's laptop or your own laptop just for the testing purpose, again, to the another pen drive, right? It can be very sensitive data, right? So it is a lapse in it, like, or I could say misconfiguration. We cannot say misconfiguration, or just a loophole we can say that people exploit, right? So you can transfer data or files, anything from the laptop without changing the password, if and only if you have the physical access. And that too, if you're watching this video, just because I'm explaining, it is taking a bit of more time. The one who knows what to do, right? So it will take just a matter of 4 to 5 minutes to perform his or her operations in terms of data leakage. Now the more scary part comes in. What if I want to perform or copy a script, right? Or copy a script so generally what people think, when they are done with their work, when they're working at home, they lock their laptop, right? Generally, more 50% of the people, we can say, they just lock their laptop and go to sleep on the bed, right? What I want is I want a script which triggers when the laptop screen gets locked, and generally we do it by pressing Windows plus L. And as soon as it gets locked, right? And in today's world, nobody disconnects their Wi-Fi, so the internet access is there. So as soon as the Windows screen gets locked, this script gets executed. So the trigger is locking the window, and the action is making a connection to the outside world, right? To the outside world, which can be anything, which can be directly data exfiltration, which can be spying, which can be any command and control center, C2 center, that can do anything in the back time, and you will not be able to notice it since the script will not be uh, visible on the screen running, right? Though there are certain parameters to identify such things. You can look into the logs, what was happening when I was asleep, or if it is happening in front of you, or the script is running in daytime, you can see the network activity, the CPU and RAM usage, if there any data transfer is happening, right? And certain permissions are also there that are given to the command and control center, so they can access your Wi-Fi, sorry, the webcam, so they can access your webcam mic as well, right? So the simplest method is to, so since you have the CMD access, right, you can get it here, but you can also have it in your own pen drive, which is already readable into the system. So just to show you, it has nothing in it, just to show you that I have a hacking script dummy in my pen drive, which I will copy into the original system. So let's say I copy it into the program files, or somewhere in PowerShell configuration, schema database, and paste it here. So it is not popping it up. Just go back and it will show it here. So this is here. Yes, it requires a bit of coding and bit of understanding how the file system works, because 2 or 3 things are there majorly. One is the hiding it from the user. Second, the trigger point. What should be the trigger point? Anything can be trigger point. It can be as simple as when you open the calculator, right? It can be a trigger. And the action, what action it will do, like it will uh, establish a connection with the command and control center. And the objective, what it really wants to do, just to spy on you, or data exfiltration, or any sort of stuff, right? So these kind of things are possible very much and are very scary, right? So you yourself can test into your own computer that whether you are open to such kind of attacks or not. Not every attack is online. Most of the some couple of attacks are also physical, right? And as I showed you, it just takes if they are already prepared and well versed, it just takes 5 to 10 minutes to for you to get away from your system. Even when if you have logged it, they will do pretty much everything they want to do, right? And get the control of your personal computer. And if it is connected to your organization, then God save you, right? Again, all of this was for the disclaimer. Oh, sorry, all of this for the educational purpose. None of this we promote, and hopefully you liked it. And one thing I will share you. This can be stopped by two ways, right? Whenever you are see, we I'm making this video just to show you these are the ways that you can do stuff in your own lab, right? Or these are the ways that you can get hacked. But how you can stop this? First, you can do some port protection in Windows operating system. You can just explore the settings and you will find it out. Second is just you can get into the BIOS, and nowadays most of the BIOS has password as well, so you can not access the BIOS. So why to access the BIOS? Because from BIOS only it is decided whether to boot anything from removable device or not. First of all, remove the permission that do not boot anything from removable device, and then put a password on it, right? So nothing can be booted and the port protection is there, right? So these are the two ways that you can save yourself. And obviously you can change the password of the user, right? But from an hacking perspective, it is not a very good practice because the user will get to know. But for a one aspect, you can do it. That is also easy, right? You can just change the utilman.exe to some other name and just copy it to the command.exe, and then on the login screen you will get the ease of accessibility button, and you click it and the command prompt will open up, and then you just type the command net user and the username and the password you want to change it to, right? I didn't show you because uh, it was pretty much simple, and I've told you how to do it. Just try to explore it more, right? Hope you found this video worthy, right? And make sure to subscribe and like the channel and do comment on the video. Thank you for the response on the previous Linux course video. Please do share it with your friends, family, whoever needs it, right? And we are making efforts to make things happen and give you content. And also just go on to the LinkedIn pages, CyberTab website, or official Twitter handle. Just show your support, and that's it. And till then, take care, goodbye, and we'll meet again.